I render all things knowable, but I am not myself, an experience. I am never experienced, yet you experience only me. I am one with all seeming things and am thus love itself. I cannot be recognized, but recognize myself in all things. I have no substance, but am the substance of all things. I depend on nothing, but all things depend on me. I am never found, but I am never lost. Whatever is experienced in any way, I am always only experiencing myself. I am closer than the breath, further than the stars. I am intimate and yet impersonal. I am infinite. Existence is a movement of my breath. I take the shape of things and seem to become mind. I take the shapes of senses and sensation and seem to become the body. I take the shape of seeing and hearing and touching and tasting and smelling and seem to become the world. But I always remain myself. I can be separated from all things, but no thing can be separated from me. I become something, then nothing, then everything, but I always remain me. I am that which is. So just allow yourself to draw back into yourself, back to this understanding of mind and body that appear or seem to be you. And yet draw back with this knowing yourself as infinite consciousness expressing itself as you. What are you? You are the one experiencing as you. And so it is. Namaste.
turning it on. You're on.
That's it.
Ready?
So good.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Always a look on the bright side of life. Always a look on the light side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing. When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just so that's the thing. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life. When things in life feel bad, well, they can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle, and that will help things work out for the best. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life. Life begins with truth and ends with truth the same. So why not be consistent in between? Forget about your sin and give the audience a grin. Enjoy it, it's your life, so sing out loud. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right 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 side of life.
Woo! Always look on the bright side of life. Da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-ba. Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living. If you are in Alberta, you know it's a pretty nasty morning out there. So I'm glad that you decided to join us. If you are from outside of Alberta, absolutely welcome. If you are new to the center, I will introduce myself. I'm Pat Campbell, and I'm the spiritual director of the center. And if you've never been to a Center for Spiritual Living, there's a few things you need to know. We are a faith tradition. I never call us a religion because we're not. We're a philosophy. We are a faith tradition that honors all faith traditions. We believe that every living thing, and some people believe even non-living things, but every living thing is a spark of the divine. And so there cannot be just one way to believe, one way to live, one way to think. We are all of us here on this path, on our own spiritual path to understanding. So if your path has brought you here, wonderful, yay. Maybe it's not going to be quite your cup of tea. That's okay. We support everyone in finding their right and perfect path because we know we're all on one. So we are going to start out by singing what we call our Kong song. This is one of my favorite songs, and it really fits in with the topic for today. I open my eyes to the love all around. So if you're at home and you feel like standing up, please do so. If not, sing along with us. I open my eyes.
I open my eyes.
Oh, I love that song, and I always have to watch myself because my tendency when, with a beautiful song like that is to want to close my eyes when I sing, I open my eyes, and my eyes are closed. So I have to be very aware. I have to be very aware not to do that. Oh, that's a good one. So I've got quite a few things to tell you about because things are really starting to move and shake again. We got a couple of people who are going to do announcements. So listen up. Today is our AGM right after service, so right around noon. If you are officially a member, you should have received the information with the agenda and the financials and the Zoom code to get on for the call starting at noon, because we're doing it via Zoom. If you are officially a member and you haven't received that information, send a quick email to office@calgarycsl.org, and Kat is on standby to shoot that information to you. But only if you're a member. Don't do. You can come to the meeting, but it would be a little confusing to have you there. So this is for people who consider themselves to be members of the center. The class that I'm doing, called The Art of Uncertainty, based on a book by the same name, starts on Tuesday night. This is also via Zoom. And I love the tagline that goes with it: how to live in the mystery of life and love it. Anybody here not comfortable in the mystery? Yeah, me too. That's why I'm teaching this class. And we are in the midst of such kind of mysterious times right now. And so this is going to be a wonderful class. It's only 4 weeks, and it's kind of a book study / class. And anybody is welcome to join us. So here's what you need to do. Send an e-transfer or a PayPal, for those of you in the States, for $65. If you're doing e-transfer, office@calgarycsl.org. In the memo, put Art of Uncertainty or class or something like that so we know it's you. Put your email address on that also so that we can send you the student material and then and the code. And then Tuesday evening at 6:30 Mountain Time, we will begin that class, and it's going to be a dandy. So I look forward to seeing a lot of you there. Next slide it's farm time, and our farm manager, Michael Gavin, is here. Yay! And he's going to tell you what's happening with our farm. So, Michael, you can just stand right there if you'd like. Yeah.
It's good for the mic, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So I run the farm here at the CCSL. Every year we do what's called the CSA program. For those of you who don't know what that is, basically, you get to invest in the farm at the beginning of the season, and every week for 15 weeks, you get vegetables. So you get around 4 to 6 items. There's a whole list of things that you can get, and it costs about $2.70 for the season. I don't know.
Tell them what you're going to plant.
I plant all the things that are listed there. So there's a whole bunch of vegetables. There's, I think like 50-something-ish maybe. Garlic is growing right now, even in the snow. I think that's good.
All right.
That's good for my little speech.
Okay.
If you have questions.
Michael, will you take one of these and wipe that mic
Yes,
off?
I will.
Okay. So just look at the list of things that is going to be provided on this. And the pickup is here at the center on Sundays from noon to 3 or something like that. And then also there's another place that you can pick up in Parkdale. In Parkdale as well. That's $270 or 2 payments of $135, and you can see Michael's address, email address right there, so you can email him to sign up and make arrangements for payment. And also, if you go to dirtboys.ca, and there's a form there that you can let Michael know that you'd like to be part of we call it the urban farm, and I just love the fact that we're using part of our property to feed people, to nurture the dirt, and to send really good plants. What did plants give us? Carbon dioxide? They give us oxygen, and we give them the other stuff. Okay. It does say signs of mind, but okay, anyway. I'll keep thinking about the mind part. Anyway, so that's going on. Okay, and then Sabrina is going to come up and tell us about a class that is starting on April 28th. So Sabrina, if you would, please.
Hi, good morning. So on behalf of myself, Ron, Lance, and Reverend Marjorie, we will be starting a new class called Treat Your Mind Spiritually. And so this class is just about diving into a little bit more about spiritual mind treatment and just having a conversation about what that is. And so if you are interested in attending, you just have to email Kat for the link. The first class is a drop-in, but we do need to know how many people will be coming. If you do know this is something that you're interested in, along with, just email Kat as well, and with your payment. And any other information that you need is on the website, along with the PayPal link to pay for this course. So we hope to see you there.
Great, thank you, Sabrina. And then you can just sit tight because I'm bringing her right back up here in just a minute. Soup for the Soul is returning. That's part of our Change for Change program. We are looking for people to go to Big T's Barbecue on May 2nd, right after service. I believe maybe 1 o'clock. Is that, Ron, 1 o'clock, to make sandwiches. Usually we do soup, but because of COVID stuff, we're going to be making sandwiches. We need 4 volunteers. You can contact Leslie at bigtsbarbecue.com and find out more information about that. But this is a wonderful way to be in service and to help those who maybe not be as fortunate as we are. So you can get more information on the website or email Leslie, and she'll get you some more information as well. And then our ongoing weekly gatherings, we have a lot. We have Monday night, the Consciousness Seekers, facilitated by Ron, our practitioner, Ron Hahn. Coffee with Dr. Pat on Wednesdays at noon. The Thursday meditation, Thursdays at 7 o'clock, done by our ministers and practitioners. We have the Saging Circle, which is for our wisdom keepers, our elders, 60 and above, meet on Saturdays from 10 to noon. And normally on Sundays, right after service, I do kind of a community chat call where we talk a little bit about what the talk was about. However, we are not doing that today because of our AGM. So my usual suspects, that's what I call y'all, those of you who show up for that, come to the AGM, but we're not going to be having the after-service call just today. So don't tune in because we won't be there, and all the Zoom information's on the website. Okay, I think I'm done. That's a lot of announcements. What we're going to have now is our more sacred time. Now we've taken care of the business. Now we get down to the spiritual stuff. So Amy is going to lead us in a chant, and then Sabrina will give us our spiritual mind treatment. So I invite you to just go within.
Open wide my heart. 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 Open wide my heart.
Opening wide my heart, connecting with the one creative intelligence, the one cause that is the back of all life. broadcasting its essence all the time in full measure. It is the singular I am presence within all that exists, in the seen and unseen, the perfection of spirit, always revealing its divine nature, beauty, and elegance of the universe. And I know I am of that one, the pulse of the divine, this presence that moves into and through my very being. An individualized expression of the one, always creating from within. And in this moment, I open my heart to all the gifts of spirit. And right here now, I choose to live in the sacred yes of life. So I say yes to love, to peace, to joy, and I stand in this vibration, aligning myself in this truth, opening up to more and more of who I truly am. And so, in this consciousness, I recognize the elegance of the universe shining through me right now. And I know that I am fully supported, surrounded by this intelligence. And so step by step on my journey, and as I continue to grow, develop, and unfold, I awaken to all of life. And so in this truth, I stand in gratitude and thanksgiving. And so, in celebration, I release my words into the infinite law of the universe, knowing that my words must return complete. So I simply allow and I let it be, declaring together, and so it is.
Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart.
Such a sweet moment with the beautiful treatment and the beautiful chant. Thank you, Sabrina, and thank you, Amy. And with our hearts wide open, we just sang about it. We are going to repeat as a community our vision and mission statements. We still do this, even though we're on the love stream. We still do this to really anchor it in and to set our intention about who we are as a community, as a spiritual community. So our vision statement, the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living, is a beacon of spiritual illumination that inspires individuals to reveal their wholeness, co-creating a world that works for everyone. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. But today, let's focus on being a beacon of spiritual illumination. As Gandhi said, my life is my message. So each of us committing to be our life, being our message. How we show up is our message. And it's an homage to the divine energy throughout. And our mission statement. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living makes accessible a way of living and thinking that reveals one's spiritual magnificence and personal power. We co-create an inclusive community that fosters an expansion of consciousness. We're going to talk a lot about expanding consciousness in just a few, so be prepared. All righty. So our Oliver's back. We're so happy. Our music is absolutely amazing. Always, always, always please welcome Amy Bishop, Oliver Miguel, Steph Chapman, Luis Tovar, and Lisa Jacobs.
Close my eyes and I can see world that's waiting up for me that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, and it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house that we could build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things that I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our mind. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, I'll let you be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. We may be right, we may be wrong. I wanna bring you along to the world I see, to the world we close our eyes to see. We close our eyes to see. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. Think about the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Beautiful. Amy Bishop, Oliver, Steph, Luis, and Lisa. Give it up for them. Let them hear it all the way. Woohoo! Yeah. That's good stuff. Luis, would you bring my thing up? Thanks. That's a beautiful song. Amy, who does that besides you?
That's from The Greatest Showman.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
Pink also does it.
That's right. Would you breathe with me, please? So please take in a deep breath and release it. And do the next one on your own. And let's take this one together. Deep in. Doesn't that feel good? Not only does it feel good to breathe, and certainly beats the alternative, but it feels good to breathe together as a group and as a community. And as always, thank you for indulging me on that. So, speaking of being a spiritual community, when I discovered this teaching way back in 1988, I had been wanting to deepen my spiritual understanding. I had been in AA, I had a working relationship with my higher power, but I wanted something deeper. I wanted to expand that. And I knew that traditional religion or traditional churches were absolutely not going to cut it for me, right? So somebody told me about this place, and so I went to, I mentioned it last week, the Vista Church of Religious Science way back in 1988. And like everybody tells the story, as soon as I walked in, I knew I was home. I love the energy of the place. I love the happy people, the music, the message of empowerment and love. I love the fact that there was little or no dogma, especially at that center. If you knew that minister, you think I'm wild. Anyway, a shout out to Brian if he's watching. So, I was hooked. I was hooked right from the start. And then the most interesting thing started to happen. When I would go there, and I would listen to the message, and I would be around the people, I started noticing that the way that I thought and the way that I viewed life started to change. And because of the way that I thought and the way that I viewed life started to change, my life started to change. It was almost as if, lo and behold, there was a correlation between what I thought and what showed up in my life. Go figure. And even though back then, certainly not now, but back then, I was a bit of a drama queen. I bet you find that hard to believe, don't you? Yeah, Anyway, so even though I had drama still going on, I began to notice and recognize how maybe I was contributing to the drama instead of just being a victim. And then I started taking classes, and I started really studying. And I started to understand how the universe worked. And I realized that not only was I contributing to my life with my thoughts, but then I learned that I could actually direct my thoughts in a specific way, and things would happen. OMG. It was almost like magic. Which brings me, of course, to my talk title today. You can probably see this slide. The talk title is It Magic? Is it magic? Or is it something else? Or maybe it's a little bit of a combination of both. So this idea came to me. It was prompted by, I was watching this really dark and more violent than I expected, kind of like detective show on, of all stations, all streaming services, Disney. Who would know that? Anyway, and one of the characters quoted W.B. Yeats. And I was like, wow, that quote was mind-blowing, and I knew that it was going to make a great talk. So here is the quote. "The world is full of magic, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper." The world is full of magic, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper. Now, ask you, we've got 3 or 4 people here in the audience today because we've got our AGM afterwards. And those of you who are watching, haven't you noticed that? Haven't you noticed that as you have started to wake up, that you see things more clearly? And I mean physically see things more clearly. One of the first things I noticed was that the colors were brighter. Oh my gosh, everything green was so green. Flowers were so flowerful. I mean, everything had become brighter to me. And I don't know that they were actually brighter, but what I was looking at them with, which was an expanding, awakening consciousness, was brighter. And so as my senses grew sharper, what I saw also grew sharper and deeper and more colorful and more beautiful. So to me, this is a wonderful metaphor for how our lives can change for the better as we come to understand how the universe works. Because when we understand that, just get a glimmer of an understanding, a better understanding, we start to see that we are in partnership with it. And being partners with the universe, with this divine mind, being partners, we can use it. Not only can we use it, but we are supposed to use it. It is available to us all the time, anytime, and every time we want. In other words, there's not like a manifestation police that says, oh no, you used your thoughts for something good last week, and so you've used up your quota. It doesn't work like that. The universe is always there for us, and the good of it is there for us to claim. What limits us, and some people may be having this response right now, what limits us is our old-fashioned, old-time belief that somehow we don't deserve it. We don't deserve to use it. We don't deserve to have the good that is available to us. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, put it this way: life is ready to give us all that we desire, but we must first cast from us everything that hinders its complete expression through us. Let go of all struggle and strife and accept the divine bounty. Oh, that's so good. Accept the divine bounty. Now, even as cool as that is, there are some people who might think, if you're listening for the first time, or you haven't been introduced to this or anything, you might think that we're all about getting stuff. And I have to tell you, back in the day, like in the early days of our teaching and kind of during the 70s and part of the 80s, that might have been true. There was a time when we were known as the philosophy of princes, Porsches, and palaces. In other words, we were supposed to use this to find the perfect guy, to get the really cool car, and to find the gorgeous mansion. That was in the day. Because what has happened is our teaching has deepened, and it has matured. And we've come to understand that accepting the divine bounty is not just about having stuff. It's much more about living a life of joy and health and happiness and beauty and being in service and being in love, acting in love, responding with love. It's about deepening our connection with Spirit. and expanding our awareness that it is everywhere, all around us, and it is always available. Because what happens then is this seemingly magical thing is that living from this place of acceptance, of openness, of love and beauty and health and all this, living from this place, accepting our divine bounty, becomes a normal and natural byproduct of living a deepened and expanded lifestyle and way of thinking. In other words, the more we learn, the more we understand, the more we understand, the more we experience. Is this making sense? Yeah? Okay. So Mary Morrissey, who is one of the great teachers of New Thought, tells a really darling story about her granddaughter who is learning to use math. And when she was about 5 years old, the granddaughter learned, I can just see Mary telling this story, is that if you have 2 apples and then you add 3 apples, then you have 5 apples. Oh my God, this is a miracle. You had 2 and you had 3 and you put them together and you have 5. Imagine how mind-blowing that might be for a 5-year-old to learn this simple thing of arithmetic. And then a couple of years later, she starts to learn multiplication. Even more. And then you could take the 5 apples and you could times them by 5 apples, and then you would have 25 apples. Like magic. Imagine that. Something so simple to us, and yet imagine that to a 5 or a 7-year-old. A whole new world opening up because of an understanding of the law of mathematics. And here's what's so beautiful about that law, or any law. If it's a physical law, law of gravity or mathematics or anything like that, or it's a spiritual law like attraction, is that the laws always work. And a law works all the time the same for everybody. It doesn't play favorites. It doesn't pick or choose. Anyone who takes 2 apples and adds 3 apples is going to end up with 5 apples every single time. So now, going back to our Yeats quote again, the world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper, for us to expand, for us to deepen and grow. It is a law with a capital L. That there are these possibilities and this potential in the world that we cannot even fathom because we don't yet have the capacity or the senses to experience them or see them. But even if we can't see them, doesn't mean that the potential and the possibilities don't exist. It's just that we don't know about them yet. Yes? Okay. So to the unconscious or to the unawakened mind, some things might appear to be magical or otherworldly or even paranormal. You've heard that term, paranormal. But in reality, these types of things are absolutely normal to those who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. In fact, if you study the word paranormal, the root word para, I just learned this yesterday, means at or to one side of, beside, side by side. So something that is paranormal just happens to be on a plane that we don't completely see yet. Yes? Because the actual word paranormal means denoting events or phenomena that are beyond the scope of normal scientific understanding. The key here being beyond the scope of normal scientific understanding mean it just hasn't been discovered yet. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It has just not come to the forefront, shall we say. And if you doubt me, I want you to just think about this for a minute. Think about the inventions that we use today, that 100 years ago, that 50 years ago, that 20 years ago would have been considered impossible. The very fact that we can live stream our service to anywhere in the world instantaneously illustrates the idea that what was once impossible is now not only possible, but commonplace, because we understand more than we did. So then, doesn't it stand to reason that the things that we think now are impossible or improbable are patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper? And if it's true for technology, and it's true for science, and it's true for the kind of tangible things, then maybe it's also true on the level of consciousness, on the level of thought, at the level of energy. That all of the wisdom, all of the intelligence, and the power of the universe is patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper. Emerson talks about the infinite lying in smiling repose. The infinite is, there's no rush, there's no hurry. The infinite is just laying back in smiling repose for us to catch up, for us to wake up, shall we say. In fact, Dr. Holmes put it this way: God goes forth anew into creation whenever anyone discovers a new truth or increases knowledge about an old one. Each is a center of the all, and each has access to the all through their own nature. I just love this idea. So the methods that we teach here in order to help us access that, methods like meditation and spiritual mind treatment. Oh, wonderful spiritual mind treatment. Contemplating, reading something and thinking about it, or taking a class, or being part of a discussion group. These are the techniques, these are the tools that we teach in order to access that wisdom. And they are all excellent methods or tools, but they aren't the only ones. Any technique, any course of study that allows us to have a broader understanding of the universe can be an effective tool. Which brings me to something that just happened this week in the news. I love how the divine supports me. It happens a lot, supports me by giving me the perfect story to illustrate what I'm talking about. Because I had already decided I wanted to use this quote by Yeats. I just thought it was absolutely wonderful. And then our darling Rosalie, you all know Rosalie, she goes to the Wednesday coffee group, and she told us this true story that had actually happened. And I was like, oh my God, this is the perfect story to illustrate my talk. However, I need to forewarn you about something. Hold on to your hats. This is not strictly science of mind. In fact, I don't think I wouldn't have given this talk 20 years ago because it wasn't strictly science of mind, and I was a little bit of a science of mind Nazi. But things change, and we grow, and we evolve, and things are not quite as black and white as they used to be. So I'm going to share this story that is not strictly science of mind. So I just want you to know that, okay? It's a story just happened last week about a little 5-year-old boy who was camping with his family down in Lethbridge last Saturday, and he went missing. They couldn't find him. And, they brought out the people, the police and the fire department and local people in that area, it's called Picture Butte, I believe, came together to look for him. But nightfall was coming, and they called off the search because they wouldn't be able to look for him in the dark, and it was kind of treacherous terrain. But some of the locals who lived in that area wanted to continue to look for the boy even into the evening. So one couple called their daughter. Her name is Carly Caruso. And they wanted to kind of let her know what was happening because they were all kind of part of that area. And Carly had studied a healing method called healing touch. And it's all about working with energy. So maybe a little bit like Reiki or massage or anything like this, but healing touch. And when she heard about this, she decided to put what she knew about working with energy and about tapping in, she decided to put it to use to help find the boy. And this is a true story. This is an excerpt from CTV News. It was an article that Rosalie had sent me. And it goes to say, I just love this. Once she was grounded and centered. That sounded all familiar? Once she was grounded and centered, Caruso said that she was able to connect with the child's energy. I started shivering, and my teeth started chattering, and I felt chilled to the bone. She was also getting visualizations of shrubbery and the river and the edge of the river bend. She said she had no idea where the searchers were, but her intuition told her that they needed to go west as far as they could go. Here's what one of the searchers said. Carly told us exactly where he was. He knew the area, this person, and knew immediately what it was that she was describing. And they made their way along the riverbank in the growing darkness. So, it doesn't get dark until about 9 o'clock now, but still in the growing darkness. And they came to a steep slope and they couldn't go any further. And that's when they heard the child calling. And the man said he was in a place where nobody could have found him. They finally were able to reach him. And the rescuer said the kid just came walking right up to him. And I said, "Hi, how are you? Are you okay? Are you cold?" And the little boy responded, "A little, but I'm really hungry. All I want is a hot dog." I love that story. I love so much about that story. And conventional wisdom might tell us that it was just a coincidence. Okay, she kind of knew the area. Or maybe it was luck. Maybe it was just dumb luck. But everything that we are learning about energy, everything we are learning about the universal mind and how we're all connected with it, isn't it possible, isn't it indeed even probable that Carly, who had studied healing touch, which is an energy-based technique, was able to intuitively tap into that universal mind, which incidentally is what we do when we do spiritual mind treatment. We are tapping into the universal mind. So isn't it possible that she was able to tune into that and gain the access of that wisdom that helped to find that boy? So no, it wasn't just luck. It wasn't just a coincidence. It also wasn't magic. It wasn't woo, woo, woo. It wasn't woo, otherworldly. It was the natural use of the thing that connects us all, the universal mind. It was the natural and normal use of mind. And we all have access to it. And we all have the ability to use it. Because after all, I'm going to use the quote once more because I just love it. The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper. I love you. It's good to be here. It's good to know you're out there. Thank you for tuning in, and so it is. And as always, our band has the perfect song to go along with this. You'd almost think there was a divine mind, hey? Would you get rid of that for me? Thank you. Please welcome our amazing CCSL band.
It's not that unusual, but everything is beautiful. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Sky knows when it's time to snow. No need to teach a seed to grow. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Life is like a gift, they say, wrapped up for you every day. Open up and find a way to give some of your own. Isn't it remarkable? Like every time a raindrop falls, it's just another ordinary miracle today. Birds in winter have their fling, but always make it home by spring. It's just another ordinary miracle today. When you wake up every day, please don't throw your dreams away. Hold them close to your heart, 'cause we are all a part of the ordinary miracle. The ordinary miracle. The ordinary miracle. Do you want to see a miracle? It seems so exceptional how things just work out after all. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Sun comes up and shines so bright, but disappears again each night. It's just another ordinary miracle today. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
Amy Bishop, Oliver Miguel, Steph Chapman, Luis Tavar, and Lisa Jacobs, our amazing band. Those of you who are tuning in for the first time, maybe you think, oh, they have special music because it's their AGM. And that's just not, I mean, we have special music and it's the AGM, but this is our music always. We got some really, really talented folks that show up on Sunday mornings. And I want to tell you ways that you can support that. So I talk about this every week. One of the main ways that you can support it is by showing up. We just love to see your comments in the chat. We love to know that you're out there because we're performing this basically, or giving this service basically to an empty room. And so to know that you're there and you're engaging with us, and I know the others read them, but I'm telling you, my Sunday afternoon entertainment after I've taken a nap is to read the comments. It really means a lot to me. It means a lot to people. So thank you for that. And you can also financially support the center. So you can do that through e-transfer if you're in Canada, e-transfer at office@calgarycsl.org. Make sure you put your email address if you're doing an e-transfer so that we have ways of getting in touch with you like at tax season, because you know all of this is tax deductible, right? Or on PayPal. You can go to our website and donate on PayPal. And if you're in the States, if you would please donate in Canadian dollars. It doesn't affect what you give, but it affects how we receive it. So please do it in Canadian dollars. You can send a check. Those are wonderful. We cash those as well. Or you can call the office Monday through Thursday from 10 to 3 and talk to Kat. And she can get your information for a one-time donation or set you up on conscious commitment so that you're just giving automatically. And we have a new way of doing it. We used to just do it once a month, but now if you would prefer to kind of spread it out over, every week or every other week or twice a month or something like that, we have the capacity of doing that as well. So talk to Kat and she'll get you set up. So let's say our conscious giving affirmation together. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow. And all that I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am so blessed, and so it is. And we're going to sing, why do I even pretend like we're going to do anything other than love? We haven't in a really long time. So we're going to sing love, okay? How unique. Yeah, oh, no, I don't want to thank you, COVID. Although, because... do it with a directed mind. I talked about that. Okay. So what we do, if you are new to us, is that we rub our hands together and we get a lot of energy going. Okay? Yeah. And then we send that energy out, usually into the world. But we're going to send our energy directly today. And he's going to kill me, and I don't care. Because today is the last day of our President Lance Raff being president of the Board of Trustees, and he has been an absolute, I just can't tell you. what it's been like to work with this man. And he's so smart, and he's so bright, and he's so conscious that I just love him. I'm going to miss him forever. So we're going to send our love to Lance, okay? So you guys ready? Okay. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh. Love you. See you in just a little bit for the AGM. Have a great week.
There's a power in the sea, reminding itself how to become a tree. There's a power in a cell, vibrating at you and me. There's a power in a word, vibrating at a frequency. There's a power inside, there's a power inside. That power is a love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. You can feel it revealed when an open, broken heart begins to be healed. It breaks like the sky when the long, dark night starts spinning on the wheel of the world. Watch it rise. Out of the ashes comes another day, a bright light shining like blue eyes so bright. Gonna shine every time you fall in love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. There's a force in the fist. When unclenched, it ceases to exist. It shifts into light. So much freedom releases from the wrist. So insist on bliss, 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 insist on bliss. And love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. There's a power in a seed, reminding itself how to become a tree. There's a power in a cell, and it's capable of making a you or a me. There's a power in the word love, vibrating at a frequency. There's a power inside, there's a power inside. That power is love.
Ollie, Ollie.